Hi, I'm Dan Leonard, still in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we're still East-West Audio Body Shop. Well, at least for one more time. This week on EWABS, the last EWABS of all time, we'll have a very special guest for our final show, Robert Marshall from Source Elements, the makers of Source Connect. And we'll answer your questions about that.
And the part you're all waiting for, our fan roundtable. It's going to be a blast. And who are we going to have on the show?
Well...
Howdy, this is Robert Fleming from Dunlap, Tennessee.
This is Wayne Chin from Boston, Mass.
Hey guys, this is Sharon Lambert.
Hey guys, it's Jen Gosnell in Portland, Oregon, and I am super excited about the EWABS Fan Roundtable.
Hi, this is Eric Aragoni from North Hollywood, California.
Hi, Dan and George. Andy, topvoiceover.com.
Hey, Dan and George. Cam Cornelius from voiceoverdude.com and the great city of Nashville, Tennessee.
Hi, I'm Howard Ellison in Devon, England.
Hey, EWABS. This is Manuel Naranjo from Switzerland.
Hey, George and Dan. Barry Zoller here in beautiful Tejon Ranch, California.
Hi, guys. This is a shout out from Nathan Cundiff over here in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And possibly a few more.
Maybe. That's East-West Audio Body Shop, the last of its kind for 1 month, and we'll see all of you there for our fan roundtable there.
He's the home voiceover studio engineer to the stars in Los Angeles, California. A Virginia Tech grad whose knowledge of the latest recording gear is second to none.
He's a voice actor and the home studio master. Hailing from Buffalo, New York, his home studio skills and knowledge of home studio recording are unmatched.
When Dan and George talk shop, people listen, and the talk continues tonight. Welcome to East-West Audio Body Shop.
My name is Pete Christofferson, and this episode of East-West Audio Body Shop is brought to you by
Ed Studio, providers of voiceover education, production, and technology.
Harlan Hogan's Voiceover Essentials, products handpicked for voice actors.
The Home Studio Master. Get a handle on your professional voiceover studio.
And VoiceOver Extra, your one-stop resource for voiceover success.
And now live from his high-tech facility in Santa Monica
and his soon-to-be former penthouse studio in Buffalo.
Here are George Whittam and Dan Leonard. Is that correct? Possibly.
Good evening. I'm Dan Leonard, still stuck in the East.
And I'm George Whittam, out here waiting for you in the West.
And together, for one last time, we are East-West Audio Body Shop. Oh my goodness. 195 episodes, and this one, only 28 minutes late, but that's okay.
Yes.
Thank you for being patient and watching with us. Hopefully you can get it. If you're in the chat room, you should be able to watch on YouTube. For some reason, Ustream decided to take a powder tonight. So we're
big time. Totally let us down in the clutch.
Yeah.
Bottom of the ninth.
Actually, I find that highly, highly appropriate. Anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, it's completely appropriate.
If you saw episode number 1, episode number 2, episode number 5, or if you were with us from the beginning, you're like, oh, it's just EWABS. But this is the last of its kind. I'm going to be picking myself up and my family and getting in my Prius and heading out west next week. And we're going to take the rest of the month of July off, and we will be back August 10th with a new show, which will be a lot like this one, only much better, called the Voiceover Body Shop, or VOBS. Yes, that is correct, sir. So that's what we're going to do. But tonight we're going to lead off. We have a lot of people joining us for our fan roundtable. But first, we have a very special guest, a guy who's helpful to our business because he's concentrating on helping us voice actors stay in touch with the people who make us a lot of money. And that is Robert Marshall from Source Elements, the makers of Source Connect. Robert, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you? Thank you.
Great to have you with us tonight.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming.
And thanks for being patient
and being very, very patient as we work out our technical issues.
Very patient with us. Source Elements, makers of Source Connect. Now, you guys have a bunch of different products now. Explain a little bit to those perhaps who are not in the know. And if you're in voiceover, if you don't know what Source Elements or Source Connect is, listen carefully. Can you explain to us exactly what we use Source Connect for?
Sure. So the reason why Source Connect sort of came up in the first place was the studio I used to work at. We were doing a lot of ISDN, and at the time I was naive enough to say, why do we have to do this over ISDN when we have this internet connection that's much faster? It's supposed to work, right?
Yeah.
And so we, in 2004, we did a lot of R&D and proved that it was possible to push real-time audio down the net. And with Rebecca, who's a good friend of mine, we started developing the software and brought it out to market in 2005, and probably earlier than the internet was really ready for this, but good stuff to learn, and we really got it down through the last 10 years. So we've built a very high quality voiceover internet application that has a lot of the other accoutrements around it that, audio engineers like to have, to be able to do picture sync and recover missing audio if needed automatically, and really try to make the remote audio process as smooth as possible and as much like ISDN as possible, while having all the benefits of the internet.
Yeah, and you've been doing it for quite a long time. I remember, 7-8 years ago, we were all talking about, here it is, and then you had to have where's my iLock, and you had to grab your iLock and make that happen. This is like one of the old ones too.
Yeah, exactly.
Shows you how long ago I first got my Source Connect, but it allowed us to connect to the world. I did my first demo in Hollywood from here in Buffalo using Source Connect, and one of my first big network spots using it. So it really was a great tool. And you've made a lot of developments and a lot of changes in it over the years too, and making it a little bit more accessible to people.
Yeah, we came out. The first thing we did early on was we came out with Source Connect Standard and kind of simplified and made it more directly usable for voice talent. And that went on for many years. And then in the most recent time, we've come out with another service called Source Connect Now, which is still in development. Actually, we're kind of it's interesting as you have something going on for 10 years. When you add things to it, it's sort of like working on your car while you drive down the highway in it.
Yep.
So
I think we've all probably tried that too. So
right, yeah. So Source Connect right now is for that reason, it's a bit of an island unto itself, but extremely useful, and has its own sort of places where it shines. It's very much a run and gun product. Doesn't require installation, things like that. It also has the technology that uses a web browser for the codec. You're obviously also forced into paradigms that weren't necessarily intended for professional, audio applications, but yet we can make a pretty good product out of the platform, I think.
Absolutely. Well, it certainly was a game changer for a lot of people who perhaps didn't have access to ISDN. But why don't we talk about ISDN for a couple of minutes? And do you see it going away? I know you hope it goes away, but
you know what? Honestly, I don't hope it goes away, or hope that it's. I don't think it's our decision to make, unfortunately. The audio community, which is really one of the last industries that's really still heavily using ISDN, isn't big enough to sway AT&T and Verizon. And I've actually gotten quite a bit into this. Funny enough, in research that I've done, and so some other products that we're putting out, we have a product called SourceNet, which is dedicated bandwidth between users, any user, so that it gets you closer to that ISDN experience where what's called the quality of service is very high. So funny enough, through doing the research for that and the providers that we were using, it became apparent that we can actually run ISDN lines. In many cases, we can even run ISDN lines for people where AT&T says no way. But AT&T, Verizon, they seem to be the two that are most aggressive at doing this. And they want to move everything over to IP for a number of reasons. And I think the reasons include it ultimately is better technology if it's implemented properly. It's more affordable for AT&T and all the big telecoms to have one type of network to maintain instead of two very different networks. And number three, and I think this can't be missed too much, there is no regulation on the internet. So when they can take all their services and call them information services instead of voice services, they don't have the government to mingle with anymore. And so they are highly motivated to dump the phone network as we know it. And it's up to us to figure out how we're going to get along without it. And what's that timeline? They want to do it by 2020. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's too much upheaval. I don't think they realize how much that will cause, but certainly they're going to try to push it. So 5-10 years. I think anything beyond 10 years is borrowed time, probably.
I keep hearing AT&T, or at least, hearsay from people who talk to AT&T say 2020 is when they're flipping the switch. And that's 4 or 5 years from now?
Yes. It's way too close for people to make a organized exit off the Titanic.
And let's be honest, they don't care about us, just the individual.
No.
They care about the big ticket clients, right? Like the government and stuff, right? Banks.
Sure. Well, they care about basically that they've got a solution that will work for that 97, 99% of their customers. So in many cases, they can switch your service and you don't even know that you're now going over the internet.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to transparently do this, but there's certain places where this does hit home. The other place would be people way out in rural areas that have trouble getting good IP, that want to have a phone system that has power delivered over the phone system without having a backup generator. There's little pockets of people that will miss the traditional phone network, but I think they're banking on the fact that they can transition everyone, and the ones that they can't, if they piss them off, oh well.
Yeah. What do you see as the future for Source Connect then?
So, well, we've, the public internet continues to work fairly well, and it's a kind of your experience will change depending on what your internet's like, what your client's internet like, what's the weather on the internet itself. So the internet as a replacement for ISDN, it works very well, especially if you do your homework and you get everything set up. But what we've been looking at is providing really one of two methods for providing a quality of service experience, and also in technical terms, quality of service. So one thing that we're doing is we're offering a service called SourceNet. The lines are a similar price to ISDN. They actually give you general internet access, but if two people have SourceNet connections and they connect over Source Connect, essentially the bandwidth stays on our network, and you can drop your buffers significantly. So in our tests, our first lines were between Buzzy's recording in LA and my studio in Chicago. We've had them up for about a year. Various tests we did. We had I believe it was a 24-hour connection. We found that, the phone companies they'll say you have 4 nines, 99.99% packet delivery. And so we connected over a 24-hour period. We got a total of, I think it was about 50 milliseconds of missed packets. And when you divide it out over, 50 milliseconds over all those hours, it comes out to be 99.99, which is really a tremendously stable connection, especially when we dropped our buffers and essentially got the best connection, the best configuration we found was 1 frame longer than ISDN as far as latency goes. So it's pretty much right there. It's the same experience.
Yeah, and one frame is essentially imperceptible. So
you might have an ISDN connection that is 1 frame longer the next time you dial up. It's 30th of a second or whatever. It's tiny.
Yeah. So if you've achieved that type of reliability, then essentially they can say, if people say, well, the Source Connect thing is not reliable, neither is ISDN by that. So by about the same percentage.
Sure. Yeah. I ultimately, they're all going over the same connections if you think about it.
True.
And if anybody's been on ISDN, there's been a time when it's tripped and done something. And so I'd say that, it's hard to say exactly. You get the right person. I've had customers who've said that Source Connect is more stable than ISDN. It's basically because they're so far away from their home office and they're stretching the bounds of that exact physical line that they have. So it gets you in the neighborhood, and everyone's experience is always going to be slightly different, but it gets you very much in the neighborhood with a dedicated line. I don't know that the public internet it's great. It's extremely flexible. It's very cost effective, but people used to be paying for ISDN circuits. And so in a world after ISDN, is it reasonable to say that there might be a specific circuit that you still need to purchase to get this done absolutely properly and without some sort of packet loss cloud.
If you're in a hotel in Italy,
if you're in a hotel, well, then you're enjoying the beauty of the public internet, and with it, you take a little bit of the risk. So you kick your buffers up, and you know. And the other thing, which gets to our second offering, is dedicated bandwidth on a single network, and we're also looking at providing essentially a bonding service. So if you're in a hotel, you have hopefully an Ethernet connection from the hotel, and then you can also bring in maybe a Wi-Fi connection from your router. And we're going to essentially we're partnering up with another company to provide a service where it's constantly going to pick the first arriving packet. Every packet we send out over both internet connections at the same time. The first one arrives, we use that one and forward it to the end connection. So at least we take care of, in that case, the first mile, and we get you up to the public internet in a very robust way. So on a mobile connection, and that's also extremely useful for radio stations and things like that.
All right, two important questions here, and then we'll take a break, and we might take a few questions from our voluminous chat room audience tonight, which is a little
there's
bit.
a couple coming in for about this
I'm trying to read
topic.
them as I speak. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll ask them. You concentrate on us. First off, net neutrality, is that something that is going to affect if it actually ever happens?
Good
is
question.
that something?
I think it will. I think that net neutrality as a concept is essentially the telcos saying they don't want to be regulated, and so when they do get their way and have the phone network shut down, is it going to be replaced with something that's not regulated and they can let it flow on its own reconnaissance, which is what the public internet is now, or is it are they going to start chopping it up? And the question is, if they do chop it up, it might very well be necessary. The current public internet doesn't really provide the best performance for every application. Do I personally want my Netflix to cost more because Netflix is getting hammered for a price by Comcast? Not at all. But would I be willing to pay for a specific line that gives me a very specific use? So it really depends on how they opt in, and if we are as consumers forced into something, or if it becomes something that's provided in a fair manner. And certainly if the phone system is going to go away, there are going to be some gaps that need to be filled in.
So last question I have for you, then we'll take a break. What can people do to try and urge all those who are to be on the other end of a Source Connect or some other type of system to try and use that as opposed to their hardwired ISDN line that apparently some of them don't want to have taken away, and if you try, it'll be out of their cold, dead hands.
Right. What do you do? Ultimately, it's got to be an advantage or something that brings them something that they want. Unfortunately, in some cases there might be a voice talent that has the clout to push their particular client to change technologies. Typically it's the other way around, and as voice talent, you kind of have to meet your clients where they want to work. And if that's ISDN, it's a very good question how to gently push them and kind of show them what the advantages are. Certainly cost is primarily one of the biggest advantages. I think that as ISDN boxes get old and they break, and for instance, I know that in my place, I've got probably about 5 or 6 blackface Zephyrs, and out of the 5 or 6, we made 3 good ones, just pulling cards out and seeing. So eventually it's going to be, the equipment's going to die out, and they're going to have those motivations to move forward. So cost, convenience, a lot of engineers like the having the complete in the box experience. I think that I see the younger engineers embracing it much more than the guys that have been, making spots and doing these things for as long as I have.
All righty. Well, we have a lot of people joining us tonight. A lot of people in the chat room. A lot of people are joining us in our virtual studio here, including a bunch of people we've wanted to meet for some time, and we're glad to see them. So we'll get to that, and we can talk ISDN. We can talk to all sorts of stuff. Robert, you want to hang out with us the rest of the evening?
Absolutely.
All right.
Sweet.
Fabulous. And that, George?
So what are we doing next? Talking about voiceover essentials?
I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Cool, man.
Or whatever.
Well,
anyway,
it's our voiceover essentials slot time. So let's talk about Harlan.
Harlan Hogan, who when we approached him 195 episodes ago in March of 2011, if you can believe it, we said, hey, we want to do a talk show about voiceover. He said, sure, what do you want? And that was pretty much it. Because Harlan's an easy guy and apparently can be fooled into just about anything. But he came on and he's been advertising with us for 195 episodes. He was with us from the beginning when, we had those fuzzy pictures from the moon on our first show. And all we can say is if you got to have voiceover stuff, I mean, we're talking microphones, headphones, all sorts of stuff, things that hold up your boom and hold on to it tightly. And if you want to get access, what's that?
I'd like to thank our wives right now. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm on
No. No, that's a whole different topic. But anyway, if you need the best stuff for voiceover, the easiest stuff to get that is not going to compromise your quality, but only improve it for a good price with tremendous customer service, go over to voiceoveressentials.com. I'm not even going to spell it out. If you can't spell that, then, you're probably not very good at words with friends either. So anyway, voiceoveressentials.com, and just click there, go in, peruse all the amazing things that Harlan can provide you in your voiceover career. Aside from the VO1A microphone, which we've talked about many times.
That Vox Pop Stop.
The Vox Pop
I'm loading
Stop?
the page for right now. I mean, it's, there's so many pop screens out there. But the thing is, Harlan is selling one. It's $20 with Amazon Prime, free shipping. And the thing is, it's a metal pop screen. It's modeled after design that was perfected by, some other company for a lot more money. And it's got the thing about it that makes it work is it's got a good gooseneck. You guys know how annoying it is when you have a floppy pop screen that doesn't stay put where you want it. This thing stays put. It's really well designed, well made, and at the price, you cannot beat the quality of this thing. So that's just an example of the kind of things that Harlan keeps around for voiceover.
That's right. And that's all he concentrates on. Plus, he's got lots of books. So if you think you can learn voiceover through a book, there's a whole big selection of them there. If you read them all, and success will be yours. Or at least you'll find out what it takes to be successful. The rest is up to you.
Exactly.
So if you stay on our page, if you scroll down, if you're still on the page, but if you go to EWABS.com, which is also going to be new in a couple of weeks, we're going to change it to VOBS.com or .net. What is it going to be, George?
We're going to have VOBS.tv.
.tv, yes.
And voiceoverbodyshop.com.
So, it'll work no matter where you go.
Right.
But the link to VoiceOver Essentials will be right there. You just click on that. It will take you right there. And then you can spend all of your hard-earned voiceover dollars with Harlan Hogan and VoiceOver Essentials. Harlan, a billion thanks for being with us all this time. And I know he wants to stay with us as we start our new venture and adventure. So cool. Anyway, thanks, Harlan. VoiceOverEssentials.com. We'll be right back here on East West Audio Body Shop, the last of its kind, right after this.
Are you confused about how to set up and maintain a professional quality voiceover studio? No wonder. The information out there is mostly mythology. This is the best microphone to use. You have to have a preamp. You need a soundproof booth. This software is the best. Your audio must be broadcast quality. Consult with someone who knows the truth. Someone who's been there, in the trenches, doing voiceover for over 30 years. Someone with unparalleled experience with voiceover studios, who's worked with hundreds of voice actors and designed hundreds of personal studios. He knows how to teach and cares about your success. In one of the harshest environments known to voiceover, your home. Dan Leonard, the Home Studio Master. Separate myth from fact and get a handle on your personal voiceover studio. Contact the Home Studio Master at homevoiceoverstudio.com. Drop off a specimen of your dry audio for a free analysis.
Hey EWABS, this is Manuel Naranjo from Switzerland. I'm a great EWABS fan. You guys are really doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much for that. And I'm really looking forward to the start of the new VoiceOver Body Shop show in August. Saludos from Switzerland. Bye.
Howdy, this is Robert Fleming from Dunlap, Tennessee. Just wanted to say hi.
Hey, Dan and George. This is Wayne Chin from Boston, Mass. Thank you so much for showing me that an Asian actor can book a gig that doesn't involve Kung Fu.
You look frustrated.
I just can't get this studio to work.
You know, Dad, we can help.
With what?
Getting your studio running again.
Huh?
Well, for one thing, 48V is not lit up. Dad, you have to turn on the phantom power.
What? Did I forget that?
Yeah, and your gain is all jacked up. You know, George has toots for that. And you totally sound better with the high-pass filter.
How do you know all this?
We watch EWABS every Monday night. You might just want to watch some of those past episodes. For you, start with episode 1. But for now, back to Dan Leonard and George Whittam on East West Audio Body Shop.
Now back to EWABS with Dan and George.
No, it's George and Dan.
No, it's not. It's Dan and George.
George and Dan.
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 George and Dan.
Dan and George.
George and Dan.
Dan and George.
You know, I think one of the most fun things that we've done on this show is getting our audience involved in doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what amazes me is when you ask people to do a video of themselves, they all go,
I am a voice actor.
You are professional communicators. Do not be intimidated by this technology. There is nothing to just going to your photo thing on here, going on video, and just going like that. What is so hard about that? Just excuse me for being a snob about it, but you know, it's just drives me a little bit nuts that come on, you're professional communicators. Nothing drives me more nuts. And of course, I am now going to get kicked out of Hollywood before I even get there. But it's the idea of someone saying, well, I'm talent.
Yeah.
Some of us are also talent and spent a career in broadcasting, pushing all these buttons. Guys like George that can read through all these error messages for half an hour and figure these things out and make it happen. And still sound good doing it.
I have help.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, Robert Marshall is with us tonight from Source Elements, makers of Source Connect and all of its configurations and evolutions. But we got a lot of other people in here tonight because we wanted to do the ultimate fan roundtable, and we have people all over the freaking place. We've got people from Australia, from Great Britain, from New Jersey. Lots of people from New Jersey, from Michigan, from Los Angeles, and from places I don't even know where most of these people are from. Some of them might even be on Jupiter or Mars or something. But
should I hit the unmute button now?
Yeah, and everybody say hi at once.
There
1,
we go.
2, 3. Hi.
How you doing? How the heck are you?
Wow, have we got a lot of people here tonight?
Yeah.
Those limiters will be pumping now.
I can't even fit you all on one. I can't fit everybody on one page. There's 24 people in here.
How many people? Wow.
24.
Oh, wow. 24.
24. We're allowed 25.
Ooh.
All right. If you're feeding back, shut up. Anyway, I see a lot of names, and I know most of these people. One person now, we'll get to Howard in a bit, and we'll get to Carol in a second because they're coming from the farthest. But there's one person who has been a powerhouse when it comes to supporting this show. And we have to highlight him first because we were wondering what the hell he looked like. Every week we would get this donation from this guy and go, thank you. So he's actually earned the opportunity to have his face splashed across the screen here. And he's drinking a Corona, I think. And that's Eric Aragoni. Eric, welcome to the show. And thank you for joining us.
Of course, anytime.
All righty.
Well,
now, where are you from?
What do you mean anytime? You should have said about time.
About time, yeah.
Because it's about freaking time you come on the
I'm
show.
always working when you guys are on. I'm sorry.
So where do you hail from?
I'm in North Hollywood.
North Hollywood. All right, we're going to be neighbors. Fantastic.
Yep.
Well, thanks a ton, man. You've been supporting us every week without fail, without it's just really helpful. And you got to pick a piece of furniture to put your name on in the new studio because you're definitely sponsored something nice in the studio. Thanks again for that.
Cheers.
Nice to have you on here. Yeah, joining us from probably farthest away though is a young lady who helped us with our logo, which will now become our new logo, which became the new EWABS logo. But we're adjusting it a little bit to fit the voiceover body shop because otherwise we were going to spend a lot of money for a logo designer, and it's like, hey, we already got one. Carol joining us from Australia. How are you?
Hi, everybody. I'm good. How you doing?
Good. You've been on the show before. You were on another fan hangout, as I recall.
Yes, I think that was 2 Christmases ago or thereabouts.
Oh, my goodness. So what are you having for lunch?
At the moment, nothing. But I believe some leftovers from last night's dinner. But yes, it's cold here. It's winter, so I guess I'm the only one wearing a scarf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
85 and sticky here in Buffalo.
85 and sticky.
Well, the weather should be fine for you in California. Congratulations on the move, by the way.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your help with the logo and stuff. Also, joining us from Great Britain, a guy I talk to all the time, or at least I communicate with email, and he has all sorts of cool stuff to say, and as I have watched his technical skills grow over the past 3 or 4 years. Howard Ellison, welcome. Turn your mic on.
Those skills.
There, yeah, those. All right, never mind. We know he's there. His mic's not muted, so make sure your mic is on there. Just chime in when it starts working there.
He's probably desperately trying to make it work.
Technical difficulties.
Yes.
Please hold.
Sign language.
I see him there. There he is. I'm going to spotlight him even though you can't hear him.
Yeah.
He's trying. He's talking right now. You guys fill in the words. Pantomime.
There we go. No, what?
Yep. We had one syllable.
I think somebody was lip syncing. I think somebody do real time improvised.
You have to lip sync with a British accent. You have to sound a little bit like I'll do my best, Ronald Coleman, and then
haven't forgot to give it up for Cody's Day.
Oh, you guys!
When your mic isn't working, this isn't the guy to call.
I need to adjust my spectacle. Yes,
he must be the king. He's the one that doesn't have shit all over him. All righty. Okay, well, all right, we can unhighlight Howard for a second. If this mic ever starts working, we'll get him.
Reboot there, Howard.
Yeah, time to reboot and
the poor darling.
As they say in Canada, when in doubt, reboot.
When in doubt, reboot.
And everybody in Canada loves it when we say that.
I know. Probably the most quotable thing I've ever come up with. Let's see. Well, we were talking about Source Connect, but we can talk about anything you guys want to talk about. So let's go around the horn and people can, shout out who they are, aside from the special people we've already introduced.
Aren't we all special?
Well, some of us a little less than others, Uncle Roy. But let's start with Cam Cornelius up there, I believe in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee is correct.
All right. My brain is working.
Wow. This is great. Hey, Cam Cornelius from Nashville, Tennessee, voiceoverdude.com. What else you want to know?
I don't know. What do you have to say for us, for EWABS?
Let's see here. I'm the second person to have an Emmy in the shot. tonight.
Oh.
I tried to match Uncle Roy's framing.
Well done, sir. Well done.
What year is yours from?
This one is. Let's see here. I think this was last year. Yeah, this one was last year.
This is vintage.
Wow.
Still fresh.
How much do they cost? CBS Sports paid for mine, so I have no idea.
Yeah, this one was like 3 years ago. So
mine is from 1992. That's how old I am.
And he was 92 at the time.
Let it be known.
Yes.
Looking good. Looking good.
Next to him, we have Pete. Now, Pete, I don't see your last name on there. What's your last name?
Christofferson. That's why you don't see it on there.
Christofferson. Okay. Yeah. Any relationship to Chris?
That was my mother's name. So indirectly, yes. Actually.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Where are you from?
Well, Eric's from North Hollywood. I'm from North Aurora, Illinois. So I'm with Wayne and Garth.
Wait, party on.
Party on, dude.
Party hardy.
Whittam's World. Oh, wait, wrong show.
Excellent. And I've just been a lurker on EWABS for a while and trying to learn. I've been doing sort of in-house VO for a couple of companies that shall remain despicable, but I've decided to try to take it a little more public, and I've been learning as much as I can on EWABS. I actually want to start using some of George's and Dan's services, but I wanted to wait till we got sort of to this next little transition period when George might have a little time, and I didn't want to interfere with the show wrap up.
Oh, yes. No, please, by all means, do not interfere with this show with paying work.
Because this is where we make our big money.
Yeah, our wives would be so upset with us if we allowed you to pay us for our time rather than grace all of you with our presence for free.
Absolutely.
Every week.
I don't want to mess that up. That's too special.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for being with us, Pete. Eric Hernandez, where are you from?
Howdy, y'all. I'm from Houston, Texas.
Houston, all right. Treading water there.
Small little outskirts suburb called Richmond, Texas, where I'm actually located. And Dan and George, I just want to say I am honored to be part of this pool of talent. As you know, I sent the email and to let you guys know that I am as new as they come. So I learned so much watching these videos and these podcasts and listening to all the wonderful, talented folks that you have come on your show. And again, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome. The bill's in the mail. Jen Gosnell.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Friend of ours.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hey, so I'm here in Portland, in Oregon. It's
Portlandia.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. There are many tattoos and hipsters, and I'm
flannel shirts.
Yes, and I have none of the above. Fleece in the summer. It's crazy. But and the unicycling bagpipe guy who sometimes wears the Darth Vader. He came and did our street festival in the Darth Vader mask.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he's great. He's awesome. He's very cool. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just sitting here, man. It's hot here, you guys. It's way hot. So none of us have AC because it usually doesn't get this hot, so we're all sweating to death.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, keep cool.
So yeah, it's fun times. I love being here. I love you guys' show. So I'm looking forward to part 2, the reincarnation.
Yes.
All right. Well, as Groucho Marx once said, it's early yet. All righty. Joining us from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Unmute Anthony. There we go. One of my favorite guys, and a guy who has taken a huge leap in his professionalism, has moved out of the house with his wife's permission, I guess.
Yeah, well, permission or tip of the boot, one or the other.
Tip of the
boot. No, yeah, life is good. Yeah, we just moved the studio out to a commercial location last week, actually last Wednesday or Thursday, and it's cool. It's fun. It's crazy. I never thought I'd be doing this, but it's good. So not just doing my own stuff, but starting to work with other boys' talent as well. So
Oh, great!
And that's where it really gets fun. Well, we have to thank you because you've been the faithful monitor in our chat room every week. And
well, I try, but Shelley does a great job too.
She does indeed. She also asks a lot of questions.
You guys wisely tag team, unlike the rest of the folks that helped the show out that took this stuff on their own and didn't get backups. Dummies. You guys are smart enough to have buddies.
Hey, I believe very strongly in the Department of Redundancy department.
Very, very well said. Very well, very well.
And we appreciate all your help and all your support over all this time. Tell your wife you're going to keep doing it no matter what.
No matter what.
No matter what, exactly.
She's right there.
All right. Nathan Cundiff. There's a voice. That's a name we hear all the time, and we see you lurking in that chat room all the time. How you doing tonight? Aside from very dark.
Yeah, it's the way my studio is set up. Not set up for a camera. Sorry about that, Dan.
And a flashlight.
I'm in my Batcave.
Vision.
I'm Batman.
Blair Witch Project.
I've got enough light in here to be able to read a script. That's, That's
all you need, buddy.
That's all you need. Yeah, well, I mean, it's audio only.
Just take your iPhone and just shine it on yourself.
Great, but I'm using an Android.
Whoa! Let's see.
Yeah.
People complain about those iPhones, but when they need a flashlight,
yeah. Well, I do have a flashlight in here, but not bright enough. Anyway, it's great being here tonight, man. No, I'm set up for audio only in this booth. I have a dedicated machine, and just specifically for recording decent audio. I turned off everything consumer. I could go into it, but
you came to the wrong place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you look around, I mean, I got nothing but lights in this place. It's like there's one there, there's one down here.
Well, he's got a face for radio.
Nice legs, Dan.
Inside my booth.
Ooh.
I actually brought it inside my booth because that's where pretty much I have everything set up, and plugged my CADs into it, and away I go.
All right,
man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining
us. Normally, I'm running through my Focusrite into my beautiful AT 2020 that my wife bought me for Christmas. So
she cares about you a lot.
Yes, she does.
Must be love.
Don't take it for granted, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Joining us also from New Jersey, Uncle Roy. Unmute Uncle Roy there.
Oh, that's me. I had my own mute going.
Oh, okay. Very good.
I was trying to be nice.
All righty. Well, and it's an honor to have you on every time, and your Emmy. Of course, you're not polishing the bowling trophy tonight. You're actually polishing the Emmy, I see. Oh, there we go.
Actually, if you look really close, the Emmy is a bowling trophy with a couple of wings glued on.
JS said in the chat room he knew a guy that put his shock mount up for his microphone in the Emmy.
That's awesome. Actually, you know what? You could put a microphone suspension inside the globe and put some pantyhose on the wings.
Kind of kinky.
Yeah. Didn't think of that.
I think we got a product.
So I don't know if Dan, you might know this, but I've been working. Cliff and I have been working on the voiceover.biz commercial or spot or whatever you want to call it.
I hear things about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just about done. I had to cut in one extra syllable from Bob Sauer, and
and it took a long time for it to come out, didn't it?
Well, they wanted to cut one word out, and I made the edit, and I thought it was okay. And Cliff said, "No, let's re-record it," and it's fine. They changed the verbiage a little bit.
Never changes.
No. Thank God it's not the time. There's no time. Time on this kind of a spot. It's only going to run on the internet. Now, I think the other big news that everybody should know about, chat rooms would go wild, and you guys already know, October 10th, 10/10 for the 10th annual VOBBQ at my house. And the crowd went wild. Thanks, George. And whoever can't make it, George might. If George is here, he might stream it out like he did last year.
Oh, heck yeah.
And if George is going, I'm going.
Attaboy, Dan.
I may not be able to return home, but I am going.
We'll pass the hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And if Carol makes it, she will win the long distance travel award. We got people coming from Canada, from certainly California, and Jody Krangle is surprising me and showing up, and Shelley.
Outstanding.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you, Uncle Roy. It's been way too long.
Yes.
Next to Uncle Roy is one of my favorite people in the business because she always has a smile on her face, is always available for lunch when you're hanging out in Los Angeles. And Rebecca Davis.
And Ninja.
Rebecca. How you doing, dear?
Where is she?
All right. We can hardly hear you. Talk a little louder.
Oh, no, you can't hear me.
Well, we can hear you, sort of.
And you know how rare that is, because usually Rebecca is like, turn it down.
Seriously.
I think you're just really far away from your microphone that you think you're using.
Oh, no.
Sit next to your computer. Oh, you know what? It's
she's hooked up to her booth computer. That's
what it is.
Don't make me come out there.
Go into your booth.
Even now you can't hear me.
Yeah. And see, and with everybody in the picture, you can't photobomb here. So
Okay, wait, here we go. How's that?
that's the same.
That's the same.
I'll fix it.
I can take her onto your computer and fix it if you want.
Yeah.
So let's share. Do you have TeamViewer on there, Rebecca?
Mark, I'm in the Zoom thing that you guys sent me.
Yeah. Do you have the TeamViewer program? I can log in and help you with your audio problems.
One of us.
Go into your Zoom preferences or your settings and just pick your built-in audio.
Built-in microphone.
Yeah.
You have an iMac, right?
Yes, only valuable broadcast time.
Now we have nothing.
Yes. Let's move on to the next one. We'll come back to Rebecca because I always like talking to her.
What's one more 20-minute delay?
Right.
Her and Howard are working on their problems.
That's right. John Kuhn. We need All right. I don't think I'm really familiar with you. I thought I knew everybody in the business.
No, I'm a newbie. Well, I guess sort of a newbie.
Where from?
I'm in San Francisco.
I left my heart in San Francisco. Down by the bay, she calls to me. God, don't ever listen to me do that in karaoke. As they say, you took a shot, Dan, but
I think you need to do ukulele here.
Yeah. So how much of a newbie are you? I mean, are you like a 2-month newbie, a 2-year newbie?
Well, I did this for about 15 years, about 20 years ago. So this is new as in the last couple of decades. So I'm only started out doing this now for the last, I don't know, probably a few months, I guess, getting back into it.
Great.
After a 25-year, 30-year career in IT.
Oh,
yeah.
That's like my story.
I know. It's very, very sad. And as funny as you guys were talking about Verizon and AT&T, I was working for Verizon. It was my last job. And they're very, very selfish. And when it comes to things like ISDN or local phone lines, forget it. You can just forget it. It's going away. Just like
sniffing packets.
It is going away. It's not profitable. It costs them too much to keep it going. They're going to turn it off.
Well, welcome to the industry. If you came out of broadcasting, you have an advantage and a disadvantage.
Yeah, I know that's right.
But
I'll tell
fortunately,
you who's helping me. My buddy, I got to do a shout out to Susan Bernard and Larry Hudson. They've been fabulous. In fact, they pointed me to the show. So those two folks are invaluable to me already.
Oh, well, we appreciate that. Larry, don't do that.
How dare you be helpful to your community? You
Yeah,
bastard.
really. Send people in this show for crying out loud. Well, John, good luck to you. And if you got any questions along the way, just pipe in.
All righty.
Speaking of Larry Hudson, we know you're there, Larry. There you There you are. There you are.
It's funny that thank you, John. It's funny that John said that because, I interface with a lot of people that I'm not sure where they're at in the community, where they're at on their journey. And if you know about EWABS, that's the litany test.
Yes.
If you don't know about EWABS, it's like, okay, so you need to know about EWABS and start listening. And I will tell you, gentlemen, George and Dan, I do my fair share of webinars around Audacity and this and that. And I always say, listen, everything I learned from George and Dan. And that's the truth.
Thanks, Larry.
Certainly I've done a lot of research, but you guys have been the catalyst since the day I started in 2009. And I didn't meet you until 2011, but it's been awesome. And I say congratulations to you. What a great run with EWABS. It was fun doing everything we've done together around that. And I'm really looking forward to VOBS.
Me too.
Yeah, so are we. Absolutely.
Yes,
Steven Gonzalez.
How y'all doing?
Fine. Where are you from?
I am from the great metropolis of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Actually, about 30 miles southeast going toward New Orleans in a little village called Panama. And Panama. It's like Panama, but with an S, I guess. But I'm just starting out myself. And like John, I'm in IT. So
I've been meeting a lot of you IT guys and girls getting into VO. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Transition.
Yeah, it is a very interesting transition, but it's also cool because what we do a lot is with the computer, and it's just instinctive almost on an instinctive level.
Yeah.
And the only thing we have to work on is our voice talent. And I come from a live background, being in Baton Rouge and kind of New Orleans and the Biloxi area. I do a lot of live announcing shows around carnival season, around Mardi Gras. And, the Mike and I have been good friends since, good Lord, 86, I guess. So, but I'm getting into professional VO now, and I'm hoping that this works out,
Congrats.
So, cool. Thank you.
Do you say on yon?
On y'all?
On yon.
One's out of Baton Rouge.
Yeah. Chudum. You got the Troy Landry got a guy. You got the Chudum and the onion, and you got the bell pepper.
Recreation. Go down to Baton and have some fish. Yeah.
I think Rebecca's fixed her mic.
I think so.
Yay!
Rebecca Davis, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now, what was it you were going to say?
Rebecca. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go for it.
It's so loud.
Really, I had nothing to say. I just want to make sure you could hear me.
Yeah, okay.
We definitely hear you now.
And you say it so well.
I know. I'm so quiet all the time. I'm sorry, George.
There's no question you are in the correct industry.
No question.
Thank you. I will take that. It only took me a while.
Take it as a compliment, as it was intended.
I will. And I'm so happy to be here. This is my first little trip onto the EWABS cam.
No, you've actually been on this before. Maybe you don't remember because we were all imbibing at the cocktail party in the garden at Voice 2014.
Oh, yes. Ooh. Okay. I do remember. And I had my video bomb of Karen at FAFCon.
That is true.
One of my favorites. I have yet to see it, but I heard Karen enjoyed it.
Let's find the episode number. It's there.
Somewhere. Oh, wait. Someone's asking. Oh, Ninja's right here. Ninja's always here. Here you go, Doug.
Yeah, Dougie.
Ninja.
Thank you.
A new friend coming soon to a theater near you.
Do you have insurance on Ninja? What's he insured for?
He's starting to fall apart, actually. I should have some.
You have some backup ninjas?
You know what? There's one arriving from the UK in a few weeks.
Ninja 2.
Ninja 2.0.
Needs a stand-in.
Ninja 2.0.
There was like 11 General Lees, that they had. So.
Yeah. Well, Ninja's about to go to Comic-Con, so he's pretty excited about strange things there.
I hope Ninja gets Stan Lee's autograph.
Ooh, that would be nice. I'd have to give it to Yeti, though, if I did that. He's a huge Stan Lee fan. Shelly!
Oh, hey, Shelly Avelino joining us from Mexico.
Excellent.
How you doing, Shell?
So he's pretty excited about it.
All right, somebody's...
Yeah, her audio ain't working.
I hope Ninja gets Stan Lee's autograph.
Shelly, can you hear us?
The replay.
Where's
Groundhog Day?
Where's that replay coming from?
Huge Stan Lee fan. Shelly!
No Shelly's feet.
Okay, it's time for a break.
It's definitely Shelly. I've muted everybody. It's Shelly.
Oh my God.
Here's your headphones. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll continue this looniness here at East West Audio Body Shop. The last of its kind. If this is an East West Audio Body Shop, I don't know what is. We'll be right back after this.
And now back to the only webcast done with 2 cans, 2 geeks, and a string. East West Audio Body Shop with George Whittam on his end in the West and Dan Leonard in the East.
You're listening to East West Audio Body Shop.
Learning never ends.
You continue to grow.
Edge Studio has grown. Pursue multiple disciplines in tandem and grow your career. We've added new courses in a new curriculum.
We picked the best coaches from the community of working voice actors.
A new technology division, engineering and consulting, led by George Whittam.
Follow your dream.
Sign up for advanced learning or register for an introduction to voice acting or foundation studies program.
See it all now
at thenewedgestudio.com.
VO Studio Tech. Recording made simple.
Hi, I'm Peter McHugh.
This is Jim Tasker from Los Angeles, California.
Hi, this is Bill Ratner in Los Angeles.
Hi, this is Scott Rummel here in Yorba Linda, California.
Hi, my name is Rick Wasserman.
Hi, this is Tom Kane.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Marshall.
Hi, my name is Zurich.
Hi, I'm Mary McKittrick.
Randy Thomas chiming in.
Hi, this is Joe Szymanski.
Hey, this is Rick Robles.
Hi, my name is John Patrick Armstrong.
I was turned on to George by none other than Don LaFontaine, who always swore by his health.
George is absolutely awesome.
ISDN, Source Connect, Phone Patch, FTP, you name it, George has set it up.
It's really the best thing I've ever done for myself. I feel free, safe, fearless, like anything is possible in here.
Unless you like to look for opportunities to waste time, call George.
And he did all of that, long distance over the phone and the internet.
I'm very happy with George, and I cherish him. Thanks, George. You make it easy.
Hey guys, it's Jen Gosnell in Portland, Oregon, and I am super excited about the EWABS Fan Roundtable.
Hi, Dan and George, Andy, topvoiceover.com. Congratulations on almost 200 shows. Good luck with the new show. Can't wait to see the new season of VOBS.
Hey, George and Dan, Barry Zoller here in beautiful Tejon Ranch, California. Congratulations on 4+ years of success with EWABS, and I can't wait to see what you have up your sleeves with VOBS.
July 6th. Don't miss EWAB's last fan roundtable of the season. 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. It's Monday night. Come on down. Hang out with us.
Hey, Dan and George. Cam Cornelius from VoiceOverDude.com and the great city of Nashville, Tennessee, home of the Tennessee Titans and the infamous Batman building right there behind me. Anyway, I really want to let you know how much I'm going to miss EWABS. Sorry to see it go, but I am looking forward to all that great VOBS ahead of us.
Hey guys, this is Tom, also known as the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants, and you want to fill your ear holes and your eye holes with Dan and George and the East West Audio Body Shop. Ah! Meow! Snails like it too.
Alrighty. We're back here on the very last East-West Audio Body Shop. Who would have thought back on March 22nd, 2011, that we'd still be here? As a matter of fact, I almost wasn't, if George remembers what my toe was like the week before.
Holy jeez, I thought you were going to get gangrene or something.
Well, so did I, and so did Mrs. Leonard, who's like, you're going to the freaking hospital! I'd show you pictures, but it was pretty gross.
Yes,
but I had a sore toe, and George and I were like doing it. We're going to do a test of the show and see if it would work the week before. And I got this bizarre toe infection, and it started spreading up my leg. And the doctor I talked to later on said, yeah, if you would have waited another day or so, that would have gone right to your heart and that would have killed you. So fortunately, aside from being, the guy's trying to scrape this infection out, scraping it off the ceiling.
Jeez.
Oh, Trey, turn it down. But anyway, I'm sitting there in this emergency clinic, and I grab my iPad. They've got Wi-Fi, and George and I are talking to each other. Well, I'm like, "Yeah, how you doing?"
They had good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they had much better Wi-Fi than you did tonight. So,
yeah.
But we survived that and got the show going, and we're glad we have. Now we're going to run a little late tonight. Not that we've ever done that before.
Yeah.
But this is great. And it's great to have all our fans here. Lots of people in the chat room, lots of people watching the show live tonight. And it's been really exciting doing this, but we'll elaborate on this a little bit more when we finish up. What's that a picture of?
It's me.
Little George.
I thought it was Opie.
At the first episode. See?
That's from exactly. That's from episode 1.
George.
That's from episode 1.
I wonder if Howard or Shelley's microphone is fixed.
Yeah, let's try and unmute Howard and see if he can talk now.
Let's try Howard. And go for Howard.
Nah.
And
next client.
Go for Shelley. Hey, Shelley.
Hello.
There she is. Shelley Avellino.
Hey. I love you. One British voice anyway, isn't you?
Yeah, lots of British accents tonight. It's amazing how many Brits we have in the voiceover business, because we all know they sound a lot better than us Americans.
Well, I'm an American citizen now, Dan. I'm going to have to learn the lingo.
Well, that's good.
I can teach you Brooklynese.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Like a Brooklynese, me.
And you're currently living where I used to live for 8 months in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, yeah, still here, although not for long. Vegas is calling. I'm
heading back to Vegas, eh?
Yep. Watch out, people.
Oh boy. Well, I'm going to have to head through Vegas on the way to California. Totally. I'll talk about this trip a little bit later. It's getting kind of convoluted. Anyway, also joining us, a guy who's with us every week in the chat room, always has intelligent questions, and I'm wondering how his career is going. Trey Mosley, how you doing tonight, man?
Trey.
And he's got a camera this week too.
Yeah, but does he have a microphone?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, we can't. Not a word you're saying. Yeah, we can hear you for crying out loud. We can. Why would I answer you?
Hey,
Trey. Where are you from, Trey?
I was born and raised in Miami, Florida, but now I live in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, we'll move up the coast.
Yeah, it's a little cooler there.
Today was
95.
So how's things going with your career so far?
Things are going good. I do a lot of e-learning, corporate narration, and explainer videos.
Great deal.
Things are going pretty good. I actually just auditioned for an on-screen voiceover. They needed someone to be the voice of a PA announcer.
Cool.
Now we lost you. Your PA.
Yeah, we lost him. Oh, I'll tell you, if it was a couple of weeks ago, I'd say it was a retrograde Mercury thing, but
right, but that's over.
Yeah, that's right. It's going back the other way.
Yeah, tonight it's just July jackassery.
Yeah. Well, Trey, thanks for being with us, and thanks for all your support over the last couple of years. We're always happy to see you in the chat room and participating.
Yeah,
not a problem. I love the show from day one, and it's taught me a lot. One of the best episodes that I saw when Joe Cipriano had us in the studio with him. He was doing his promo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was totally ad lib too. It was like, well, we think he's going to go on, and we just watched him for half an hour.
That was cool.
It was a lot of fun to do that. Joe's a really cool guy. I know Joe was in the chat room before, and I asked him if he wanted to come on. He could do that, but we'll wait and see if he's there.
Well, he's in the middle of doing spots for Queen Latifah. He's probably doing Queen. He's probably doing Queen Latifah.
The next queen.
Yeah, that's right. He's probably doing them right now.
That's right.
Which unfortunately is no longer on the air.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yes. Well, Robert Marshall is getting lonely over there, so we'll come back to him.
I'm lonely, so lonely. I'm lonely, sadly alone.
There's no question, Robert, that we have talked about your product probably more than anything else, aside from the
Harlan's
stuff that Harlan stuff and some of the other things. We talked a lot about a lot of products, but we have been pushing Source Connect and the ISDN alternatives all along, and we appreciate all the time and effort you put into that.
We appreciate everyone. I mean, all of you guys. It's it's great to have an audience, as you know, and we're just proud to have been able to provide a very useful thing and hoping to keep on doing it. So thank you, everyone.
You guys have to think too, like for Robert and his company, we're just one of a couple of different niches or markets, So
Really?
Think about the time Robert is invested in giving, connecting with the voiceover world and going to the conventions. Again, we're just a piece of the pie for their business. They do stuff for film posts, they do stuff for music production, and it's a lot. You guys cover a huge range of clients.
Yeah, and we're hoping to kind of do a lot of stuff when we talk. Like there's certainly many very exciting musical things that can be done, and I think that even when you look at what we do, and there's the commercial side of it, and the the studio side of it, and also the voice talent side of it, and all those different things. I think that even within our community, there's some specific things that everyone wants. We try to make something flexible that can cover as many as possible.
There was a couple questions. Should we jump on a couple questions?
Yeah, why don't we?
Reen Vogel asks, what is the difference between Source Connect and Source Connect Now?
The question that's been very popular.
Sure.
So they both work on completely different technology, and basically what you're looking at is a few years back, Google and Skype and Microsoft, they kind of broke the market and created a free codec, and a lot of the things that made Source Connect unique became available. Kind of, it's not like just there, but the tools are there is essentially what they did, and it made it possible to offer something that has a very high quality audio stream on a platform as ubiquitous essentially as Chrome, and we embraced it right away. We didn't really. We still haven't charged for it, and it's a free service. We're committed to offering Source Connect Now for free, but it is very different than Source Connect, and so that's what our current work is in integrating the two. Right now, Source Connect does not connect directly to Source Connect Now. Source Connect Now is kind of an island unto itself, and the reason why is it works so differently, and one of the biggest differences is in how one handles errors on the internet compared to the other. When Source Connect Now runs into an error, it first of all starts out with a very low latency connection, probably lower than Source Connect. And that's because we are conservative about the bandwidth, and we try to make sure that the connection is as stable as possible. Whereas Source Connect Now and Skype and really anything that was designed to ultimately let you talk to grandma and not really do a radio broadcast, those are going to establish a much lower latency at the risk of when an internet bandwidth issue happens. What does it do? Well, it's going to drop the audio quality. It might stretch time out and then go really quick to catch up with it. And it's going to do all these things that people describe as Skypey or VoIPy. And so in ideal conditions, it works great and it has a lot of flexibility. It's an island unto itself. I would also say that Source Connect Now currently is more convenient for the voice talent compared to the record side, because the routing of the audio, having to tie Chrome into your big Pro Tools setup is not as easy as Source Connect, which presents itself directly as a plugin. To make Source Connect now show up as a plugin, you have to use, we make one called Source Nexus that lets it do it. So what's good for, like I was trying to explain before, what's good for one party isn't necessarily good for the other party. I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah, I think so.
I understood it.
Lee Penny says, question for Robert. When will we see Source Live with true, in capital letters, HD? I was invited into beta by Rebecca and have forwarded iLock info, whatever that means.
True HD in terms of audio HD, or?
Not sure. He's a video guy. I'm assuming he means in terms of video.
So Source Live with video is actually in extremely late beta right now. I think it's on the border of public beta, and probably within a month or two, I believe we should probably hopefully have it out for sale. It's essentially the classic Source Live product, but now we're able to stream video along with the audio. Really a product that we see more being used by the post mixers and them working with their end client, and not so much of what we would consider Source Connect to be, which is an acquisition tool for someone to record someone else live over the internet. And Source Live has always classically been a review and approval tool instead.
Much longer latency.
Much longer latency.
Much longer. You can't have a conversation with live. No way.
No, you have to, and that's what the new Source Live does, is it has this sort of virtual control room, a lot like what we're looking at here, in fact, where there's a lower quality real-time audio video chat between everybody who is looking at this video that is, being worked on, presumably being mixed, or maybe an ADR session is happening to it at the most. That's so it's like a virtual control room is our idea behind it.
Gotcha. Dan, you got the next question.
Let's see. What was the next question?
Yenny says.
Yenny said, where was her question?
Question for those who paid for iLock, the $600 Source Connect version.
Yeah.
How do we add on the dedicated server? I kind of bummed that I paid the big bucks for that, and Source Connect now is $8 a month. Where did that information come from? Can you clear that up?
Okay, so I'm not too sure the dedicated server. Source Connect uses a connection server to establish the connections, but all the bandwidth is done directly, what's called peer-to-peer. Similar to what Source Connect now does. If she might be talking about something called a relay server, and the relay server that exists in Source Connect now, in a sense, is probably one of the first tricks that Source Connect now will give to Source Connect, the proper version. So when they merge, that's probably when that'll show up. We've got some working templates of server assisted connections where the data is no longer peer to peer. But that's what I was talking about before. We're trying to merge the two platforms so that we have the fixed latency, the fixed quality of Source Connect, along with some of the newer sort of smarts that Chrome offers, or that some of those connection protocols offer.
Yeah, I mean, I think what she keeps asking really is, why did I buy this one thing when the other thing is free? And I think that the short answer is because they have two different levels of production production value. Like Source Connect Standard is absolutely locked to sample. It will never drift.
So Source Connect Standard won't drift time. It's not going to change its quality. If the other side is using Source Connect Pro, even if there is an error, the whole recording is guaranteed to be correct, because any missing data can be replaced after the fact.
Right. That's the repair and replace thing,
which comes with Source Connect. With Source Connect now, there's no safety net like that at all.
Right.
So Source Connect now is definitely a what you hear is what you get connection. And if it changes quality in the middle of it, it changed quality in the middle of it. The hardest thing is that if it changes the time factor in the middle of it, and they've just recorded a radio spot and you're locked down to 30 seconds, every edit is very exact. And then, if, hey, you have to send me your original files because this or that happened, and you get them and now they're a lot longer.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch more work on the post side to deal with that.
Right, exactly.
All righty. Well, we've got all these people here. We want to hear from a lot of people, and we figure, if you guys have questions for us or Robert or for President Obama, we'll make sure he gets it. But if you have any questions for George and I about eWebs, speak now or forever hold your peace until August 10th. Just raise your hand. Larry Hudson. No, you got to unmute yourself there.
Sorry, Larry. I muted everybody.
Okay. All right.
Sorry. So I have a really simple question. It's a key to everybody's recording chain, and it has to do with interfaces.
Yeah.
And you guys have been kind of talking about this. We've all known about the 2i2. It's been the big seller. And all of a sudden I heard this rumor that, George, you're now really moving towards the Steinberg UR22 as opposed, and they're the same price. Mm-hmm. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I mean, here's the deal. I mean, the when you recommend something over and over again, the more of them that are out there in the wild, the odds of people having technical issues increase.
Yeah.
It's like there's only 7 people using something. If one of them have a technical issue, it's not going to seem like that big a deal. Just that one guy had a problem.
Yeah.
But when there's 200 people out there using a source, a 2i2, and 20 people have a problem, all of a sudden it seems like a huge problem, even though it's only 10% of the users out there having problems, right? And this is what's happening right now.
I can say we had to do specific work with the Focusrite to make sure it worked with Source Connect. We had problems.
Yeah, I've heard those issues. A lot of people were having, and it was a lot of weird different things. And I think the other thing is, and of course, Focusrite is not a sponsor of ours, so we can slam them all we want. The fact is they made a lot of money on those 2i2s. Everybody bought them. We did recommend them, and when they work, they sound really, really good. It's like Uncle Roy has one right there because we told him to buy one, and you liked it, right, Roy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so, but I noticed that sometimes, if you're like changing bit rates or you're on streams that are different from what your computer is, it can go absolutely hairy. Or as George likes to say, we start to Cylon,
right?
Things like that will
Crazy
happen.
stuff,
And I've got a lot of calls in the last couple of weeks, people saying I'm having trouble with my 2i2. And how do you solve it? Usually I say unplug it, plug it back in, and it usually starts working again.
Sure.
The old, I don't know. I think when in reboot just seems to work in so many cases.
I get paid quite nicely to tell people to do that.
Reboot.
The Steinberg
just
stuff.
Take half an hour to do it.
It's just like I've been recommending Toyota for a while. Now I'm recommending Honda. I mean, it's another practical, inexpensive interface. It's another alternative. I'm trying to think of some real solid reason why I'm recommending one or the other. I think the Steinberg stuff it just feels more like it was built to a higher spec. Whether it is or not, it's hard to say.
Do you think they have better quality control?
Silencing
from Steinberg.
Yeah, clearly Cam is using a 2i2 right now.
What are you using, Cam? Because you just started silencing just now.
My computer is telling me that I have a very high CPU usage, so that's probably what's going on.
Yeah, you're doing the classic Cylon sound.
The same to the video, it'd look really cool.
Yeah, really.
But I don't have a good answer for it, to be honest. I think I just wanted to try to recommend something else for a while and see if they do better. I know that every single product I've ever recommended and gotten behind, at some point I was disappointed.
Well,
MicPort Pro, I was really behind. Then I got disappointed by their products after a while.
Hey, I still have my Sapphire 6 USB, the Studio. I have a 2i2 that I use to travel with, and this thing hasn't glitched once, other than when you were over here tweaking and we couldn't seem to get it to work. It's been working fine ever since then.
Yeah,
and it's 6 years old.
Like with different interfaces, a lot of this still runs into the thing where we're all using tools designed for music. And,
right.
And a lot of the tools that I see, not to call out specific products, but for example, the Apollo. I ask myself why. It's such all this processing in real time. And from my standpoint, I don't want anybody processing anything personally. When I'm doing a post session, I want it off the mic and straight and no compression, no EQ, maybe a high pass at the most.
It'd be nice if in the real world, Robert, that there was still enough budget to hire more of you to be in production chain. But unfortunately, that's not happening. And so much of what voice actors are doing now are affiliates and this and that, and it's churn and burn.
Right.
And so talent are having to send out audio on Source Connect or ISDN that's it's like microwave ready, I like to say. It's baked and just shove it in the microwave, right? And as opposed to a nice raw ingredient ready to bake. And that's unfortunately what's going on. So the people that find that have that need, the Apollo fills that need really, really well. But yeah, otherwise, good Lord, is it overkill?
And
Absolutely.
specifically, I feel like whenever I'm talking to people, and even something like an M-Box Firewire, and every time I'm like, oh God, because it's hardware, it's software low latency monitoring instead of just give me the analog blend knob. And I always prefer the interfaces that just have
simple ones,
stupidest, simplest low latency monitor. It's like me, the computer, my gain, my headphone volume.
The Shure X2U for $99 does that perfectly.
Awesome. Yes.
It really does.
It has the one thing that the mic port doesn't have, which is the blend.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Scott says, oh, wait a minute. I was looking for one that was related to what we were talking about, but the other questions are more on other topics. Any other questions from the chat room related to Source Connect stuff or technical stuff, or should we move on to just wild card?
Yeah.
Should we move on to wild card?
That's the wild card theme.
It's the wild card theme here, ladies and gentlemen.
Record that.
Wild card. So Amy asks, have any of the panel ever poked themselves in the head with their Emmy?
You can see that it's whoever designed it. It's perfect. You could really do both. Wild damage. And as I said on a previous EWABS episode, as Dad always told you, don't run with your Emmy. You might poke your eye out. Right?
You'll poke your eye out.
I can't wait to win one. Then.
Serious question for Dan from Scott. Will the mustache make the move also?
Oh, yes. Are you kidding? It's leading the way.
Heck, half of it's already in California.
It is. It keeps getting bigger and bigger, and they're going to see me coming about the time. Yeah, see?
We can already see it.
That's right. When I hit San Bernardino and I start heading up through the mountains there.
You're not going to shave it off you, Dan. It's going to be really hot,
No, it's staying. I have my warm weather wax.
Yay!
Not to be confused with Rudd weather wax.
This kind of tape, the packing tape, all of this mustache.
There you go, Glory.
Yeah, I still have a little bit of that left. By the way, don't try packing boxes with that stuff.
No, I was going to give it to you when you got here in October, but you won't need it.
I won't need it. I will have already moved. Any other open questions here, or we'll just take a quick break and we'll start to clean this whole thing up. And
might be time for that.
Yeah, we'll take a short bake. A short bake.
Short
bake.
Sure. We're not in Colorado.
Shake and bake.
We'll take a short break. We'll be right back here on East West Audio Body Shop.
Hey, Scooty.
Yes, dear George.
Yeah, this is George and Mary, George's parents. Anyway, we got a problem, Mary.
What could that be, dear George?
Oh, I guess around maybe 8 months ago or stuff, I was on their website and they have a little window there that says donate.
Yes.
And I clicked on that, and now the darn thing, I can't turn it off. George, you're going to have to help us and turn that thing off now that EWABS is over. Is it over?
EWABS, as we know it, as everybody knows it, will be over.
Yeah, yes. But I think it's going to be called VO. What is it called? VO.
BS.
BS.
Lots of VOBS.
Yeah. And you know what? We'll keep it on. We'll keep it on, won't we?
Oh, we love what George has created, and Dan too.
Yeah, it's only 50 cents. You should get over it.
Oh, okay.
All right, you guys. Good luck. See you soon.
Bye.
VoiceOver Extra, the voiceover industry's online news, education, and resource center 24/7. Hundreds, probably thousands of free how-to articles for voiceover success, ranging from home studio to voice acting to business. A free voiceover industry directory, calendar of industry events, resource links, a store, and much more. Bi-monthly webinars on all topics of voiceover, free subscriptions to newsletters, reports, announcements, daily news, and features at voiceoverextra.com.
Hi, this is Eric Aragoni from North Hollywood, California. Dan and George, I have so enjoyed EWABS over the years, and I cannot wait for the new show here in the Valley.
Oh, hi, Dan and George. Hey, I'm Jimmy Slonina from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm a big fan. I know what you're thinking. And yes, that is a Sennheiser MK4 up there. I'm kind of new to the business, but the main reason I listen is because it's my favorite drinking game. Every time I listen to your podcast, I always take a shot every time Dan says, "Alrighty." Here, I'll demonstrate, actually. I'm just going to put these on here, and I'm just going to fire up an episode. I'm a clown, and I work at Cirque du Soleil. I like to listen to the podcast every time I put on my makeup before every show. That was... wait, hold on one second. Here's this. Oh, I've been taking coaching and workshops with Melissa Moats. I really loved your episode when you went to the voice actor studio. You guys think you're so smart. Oh, look at my 416, my 2i2. You don't know me. Oh, wait. Congrats on the shows, guys. Good luck with the move, Dan. Long live the body shop. Dan, I'm totally gonna eat your mustache.
George and Dan. EWABS. They make our lives so much easier.
Oh crap, what's wrong now?
Et voilà, this is East West Audio Body Shop with Dan Leonard in the east and George Whittam in the west. Merci. Et maintenant, back to the show.
And we're back.
Are we back?
We're back.
Oh, my goodness.
We're beautiful.
Yay. All right. Well, it's great having everybody with us tonight. And to send us off, or at least send me off, George, you get a month off from this. If you guys only knew what it's like, say, from about 4 o'clock Monday afternoon until like 10:30, and I come home or I come downstairs and it's like, are you done yet?
Yeah, exactly. Amy just walked in and said, "Are you guys still on the air?"
We had a late start.
Little does she know that we had a little bit of a late start. Yeah,
just a little bit. But George, his infinite talent, was able to get us up and running again. Because one of the things that we've learned in the engineering of this type of stuff is always have a lifeboat. Never panic, and always have a lifeboat. And we've always figured out there's a way to do this, and sometimes it just takes a little while.
That's right.
And but it always happens, and there's still a lot of people watching the show, and we really appreciate you sticking with us through Apollo 13 195.
Ella, do you have any important things to say to the audience? No.
She's speechless.
We need your words of wisdom.
When do we eat? She says.
When do we eat?
Good note, Ella.
Right now.
Okay, we better wrap it up then.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, can I just say one thing?
Go for it.
I just wanted to say something to both you and George. You've been a great source of encouragement and help to me over the last couple of years as I've tried to get back into things. As everybody knows, a bit of a health concern, etc. But just wanted to say thank you for every week, because it's a great place to catch up with everybody, especially from all the way down here. And for other people who also have an extra 9 to 5 where they don't have the privilege like I do to be here every week and eat my lunch and type away and listen to awesome information, they get to catch up when they get home and watch the YouTube the following day. So just wanted to say a big thanks from Down Under, representing everyone here on their behalf. So just much love from us as you phase out EWABS and bring in a new chapter. So congratulations, and a long and happy hitch in the new location.
Oh, thank you.
On the
Thank you.
Hey,
appreciate that.
Any
you
helpfulness
guys are our lifeboat.
Thank you. Any helpfulness gleaned from East West Audio Body Shop is purely accidental.
As he knocks back all of beer.
Well, we appreciate that, Carol, especially coming from so far away. I think it's one of the interesting things is that we've been able to garner an audience all over the world, and except it's one person here and one person there, but it's great to meet all these people.
Canary Islands,
the Canary, Ramesh Matani, and the Canary Islands, who's a wonderful. I can't wait to meet him. And of course, I've met a lot of you folks. And I know when we run into each other in the same room somewhere, it's going to be like, oh, I know you. And I think that's one of the most fascinating things about working on the internet and interfacing with so many different people. When you get the chance to actually meet these people, it's like, well, it's like I've known you all this time.
Yes, yes.
That's really, really.
And the one thing I definitely want is I want a shot of you with your lovely mustache and George with his beautiful headphones, and just have a nice for the logo, for the sake of having a bit of closure on that. Have the picture of the three of us together in the same room. That'd be awesome.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, I'll be a lot closer to Australia now.
That's true. I can see you from here.
Yeah, that's right.
There was two more questions. These are short ones from the chat room. Devox. Our buddy Devox says,
Devox in Japan.
Maybe this isn't a short answer. I don't know, but what is your greatest regret doing EWABS, and what is your greatest joy?
Why don't you go first? Because I got to think about this one.
Oh, man.
I'm not going
My
That's your
greatest
greatest regret is having to answer that question.
Yeah, really.
My greatest regret is not finding more people to help me out at the studio at my end. And like, I don't know why I decided to do this like solo and do everything myself, the sound and the audio, the video, all the stuff on this end. I don't know why. I think it's just, I didn't know what to do. I'm just one of those people that I'm a do-it-yourselfer. I'm going to figure out how to do it and make it work. And bringing somebody else into the mix to help is secondary. So I think maybe if I was to have any regret is that I didn't have somebody at the very beginning to help with that and kind of have my trained backup. So when we moved to the new studio, I'm looking for somebody maybe to help with that.
Someone in the neighborhood.
Yeah, someone in the neighborhood. My greatest joy is just having this really warm and inviting community that likes to have us in their homes every week. It's not a huge community, but it's a small and very, very, very passionate and loyal community. And that is huge. And, we know there's other shows, other places to get information. There's other stuff happening out there. But for you guys to want to be here live and interact with us and each other in the chat room every week like this, that is really, really priceless. And, we've thought about, why do we still do this? The audience isn't really growing all that much. It doesn't really make us a lot of money. All these little things, these practical, business side of things come into your head. But then you just realize how fun it is. For me, it's been a huge amount. It's also been a huge, self-esteem booster to do this show for me. To be able to speak so off the cuff and so freely and publicly and just comfortably. I definitely wasn't like this 4.5, 5 years ago. So that's been huge for me.
Oh, and from an old IT perspective as well, I was low grade level IT, more of a sales type person, but watching you, George, handle a situation like at the beginning of the show with such calm decorum and a little bit of, crazy going on with the rest of us trying to get in as well. Watching you handle everything each week is amazing. So thank you very much for all your efforts.
Yeah. Well, I would say one of the cool things that I've seen is watching George grow. And I think that's one of my favorite things to do. As an educator, it's always fun to watch students pick up things. And watching George learn how to be like the rest of us and talk off the cuff and be able to ad-lib while pushing all those buttons and turning the knobs and all those things has been very, very impressive indeed. And hopefully it will. And I'm sure it has helped you understand a little bit more about all the nutsiness we have to go through as voice actors.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like now I know what I feel like the radio hosts do, and it's really impressive. It's fun. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, having been a radio host, I can attest to that. What's the biggest regret that I've had is doing EWABS? it's little things. The regret that it hasn't grown to a bigger audience. We'd like to see it be, a huge audience, but then again, it's like you said, George, it's a niche audience and it's very loyal. And I think you and I both agree that the community that we helped create here, and the fact that we get together every week is, immeasurably pleasurable. And I really, really look forward to that. And that's something that you don't get everywhere. What is it about this particular community? I don't think that freelance photographers, freelance web designers, freelance gardeners don't have communities like this. Maybe they do. There's a whole lot more of them, and we're just not tuned into that. But for some reason, voiceover just seems to have this commonality to it that you will not find amongst the on-camera acting community or the stage community. But for some reason, because we're an internet-based industry, I think it's created a very interesting community, and we all know we have something in common, and we're all so lonely.
Well, I just wanted to say something, Dan, as well.
Go for it, Shelley.
Without you guys, you've created not only this wonderful community, but it's a safe community. Nobody's felt made to feel stupid. Nobody cares whether you're brand new, whether you've been in industry 20, 30 years. And I think that's why it's so loved by everybody, is because you've created this not just amazing community, but a really safe one. And for that, I'm really, really grateful. And I would be lost without you guys. I really would.
Well, we really appreciate that. Well, George, I think it's time whether we start to wrap this one up so you can eat and my wife can go to bed.
Okie dokie.
You see her passing by and getting these dirty looks. This has been just fabulous doing this the last 4.5 years. It's going to be nice to take a month off. Except that all the stuff that we have to do in this month that we're off, which is
I don't consider moving a month off.
It's not, and especially since we're driving.
You can do it.
So you have my sympathy.
Yeah, we have a big decision to make at Omaha. Whether we're going to go north up to South Dakota and see Mount Rushmore and visit some friends in Bozeman,
or turn back.
Yeah, because we're going to have 2 dogs in the car with us.
Yeah.
So if
there will be a story for the new show.
Yeah. Speaking of dogs, it's going to be really something, and I'm really looking forward to going out west. I've been telling a few people I have this big cry coming on as I leave down here because I've lived here my whole life, and but I feel like they say home isn't where you live; it's where they understand you. And clearly, I have so many friends in Southern California, and my mom is there.
Yeah,
who clearly understands me, I think. Although she does have some interesting things to say about the voiceover community, because if any of you have ever been to the events where we've had my mom at, you know what I'm talking about.
Bring her on as a guest.
Bring her to New Jersey.
Yeah,
she's been on as a guest more times than Cipriano has, actually. But this is going to be a fascinating transition. Wait till you see this new studio that George and I are going to be building.
I want to come in person and see it.
Well, you can. Yeah. You just get on the 101 and come on down. It's no problem.
I get free flights now. I'm there.
There you go.
Will there be studio audience seating?
There will be. As a matter of fact, we thought we gave away most of our chairs, the folding chairs.
I've got a few here that are ready. Prime for the audience.
Yeah, we had a lot left over from Passovers from my wife's family. We gave a lot away to other relatives and stuff. And
I got you covered.
We're gonna have enough seating in there. We'll probably be able to fit in maybe 5-6 people for the show.
It's gonna be cozy.
Every now and again. But we're gonna have a lot of live guests in studio because they can ride their bikes over, which is gonna be really
nice.
Cool. And but the studio is going to be very high tech. It's going to be, as long as we don't use this computer, George, for crying out loud. Go back to my Mac Mini. But
I'll start swimming.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm going to miss Buffalo because this has been my home my whole life, and it'll always be home. But Southern California just seems to beckon for a lot of different reasons. And voiceover is like number 2 or 3 actually on the list. We're coming so my son can be in animation school, and if you've enjoyed Mugman at all, you'll know that you can see that he's talented enough to make it there. And and my mom needs me, so it's going to be important.
Mom, shoveling the sand instead of the snow.
Yes, we're already planning the shots for our new intro. But probably one of the most pleasurable things about this show is working with George, because I always feel comfortable and know that things will work out no matter what. I never panic. It's like flying a 747 and just sort of sitting in the co-pilot seat going, you know what you're doing. No problem. We're in a nosedive, but I know he's going to be able to pull back on that.
Pull up
on the yoke just in time. So anyway, George, any final thoughts from you?
No. What do you want, Alex?
I said you need to learn how to pull up.
I need to learn to pull up. Thanks, man.
How old is he? He's got
He's right though. Actually, we're actually working up to that. Believe it or not, I am working up to getting my first pull up since probably when I was in high school. Literally.
Are we talking like Depends here, or
no?
Oh, you're using the big boy toilet now.
Oh my!
No, like a legit pull up.
Oh, you mean like on a bar thing?
On a bar, yeah.
I have a quick plug, Dan. It's a good time waster on a trip. It's called Fun Button. Right there.
Fun Button.
The Fun Button app. You press this little button.
Press me again. Press.
Oh God!
And it's just all kinds of noises that come out of that. So I did
John Taylor
plug. I did a bunch of voices on this. So.
Get that for your trip, Dan.
So you can pass some time on the long road trip.
The question is, do you do that in real life?
Press this again. Yeah, I asked a lot of people who were on the audiobook roundtable a couple of weeks ago, what are some good audiobooks to listen to?
Audiobooks.
So,
anything that Anne Richardson's done.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because she does some adult stuff, and I've
That's good road trip material.
Oh yeah.
I'm about to start doing it.
By the way, she sent me a lovely mezuzah for the new studio. So when you walk in, you'll see that, and that's going to be really cool. But
well, anyway,
I think that's going to do it for EWABS.
EWABS.
Yeah, it's going to be a totally different thing, and not totally different. It's going to be the same 2 guys sitting there going, "We don't know what the hell we're doing," but you seem to like it for some reason.
Just with a nicer studio.
Yeah. And it'll be air conditioned, and but you'll be able to see it's a voiceover only recording studio. We'll be able to do ADR in there. We'll be able to do webinars in there, and probably have a cocktail party or 2. So, I can't wait.
We'll be able to walk over, bring the show, and walk down the street and crash the VO Buzz Weekly show.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Wow.
Let's do
We should do that 1 week.
Sugar.
Yeah, like 1 week where each of us takes turn. Like they walk in on our show one day, and we walk in on their show.
Yeah, like
we got
Don
lost.
Rickles would walk on the Tonight Show.
Yeah. I made a wrong turn.
Anyway. All righty. Well, folks, it has been a pleasure serving you for these last 4.5 years. And I look forward to another 5 to 10 years of doing it out there. Who knows? The technology is going to change. And the technology has changed since we started doing this. So the show will only get better. We are in a new era of new media where we can do anything we want. Who would have thought 10 years ago you could have your own TV show?
Yeah.
And people would actually watch it.
That I never would have imagined.
When we started this, we're thinking, we'll have some fun with it for a couple of weeks, maybe a month or 2. And we're still doing it, much to the chagrin of some people in our lives. But but we're going to make it worth their while when we do it all from Southern California. And I'm looking forward to doing it with George actually at my side and watching him mess up. Although I have a feeling we will distract each other an awful lot.
Oh yeah, the show never has more train wrecks than when there's somebody sitting next to me in the real world, like sitting. That's when the show goes off the rails.
Yeah,
I'll never forget the June Foray episode where I did a monologue for 5 minutes, and it was just 5 minutes of dead air, absolute silence. Yeah, I'll
she's
never
probably
forget
just sitting
that.
there going.
Well, she doesn't know. She's got head.
She was
she
in the living room.
No, she was sitting right next to me, but she can hear me talking. I can hear me talking.
Just nobody else could.
Just the one little VU meter I wasn't looking at. You know.
Oh my goodness.
Recording? Well, round of applause for you guys.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Cheers, everybody.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
Yeah. If any of you are in the neighborhood and want to volunteer to help us with being a stage manager, because we really need that. It's interesting doing it across the country. Although it's almost instantaneous in our conversation and stuff. But if someone can like say, okay, we're coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe Quavassier would move to LA, so because he knows how to do that, and he's tired of being a news anchor at KLAS. But we would like a little extra production help, and if anybody wants to do some video packages for us, do it. Don't be afraid. Learn how to learn how to do a stand up in front of a camera, and show us what you're doing, or do a report from someplace interesting, and show us that you got what it takes to do what we've been doing, and that really is what makes us happy.
I'll volunteer. I'll help you out.
Okay, Cam, but you're in Nashville.
Yeah, Cam.
Hey, we have stuff. I can send stuff to you.
Send in packages.
He's going to do it via selfie stick.
That's right.
A long one.
The cam stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to remember, I have one of these. A broadcasting degree. So.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, I think mine's in the scrapbook.
Anyone recognize one of these?
He's got a diploma.
I do. I have one.
I got one too.
One for 1980.
I totally threw mine away.
It's in the scrapbook.
I did. I keep it on my broadcasting degree.
FCC license. So they're totally worthless.
Back in the day when we had to actually have a license to be on the radio.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
We had to know how to do Morse code and all sorts of crap.
Oh my God. Read meters.
Confusing that with the Boy Scouts.
Yeah. That's true.
Source Connect.
I'm glad I was in the Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thanks to everybody for being with us tonight. We'll be back in 1 month, God willing, and
August
the creek don't rise. Yeah, but fortunately in California, I don't think that's going to be a problem for a while. Special thanks to Robert Marshall for being with us tonight. Good luck with Source Connect, Robert.
Thank you, guys.
We're gonna make that stuff happen for everybody. And thanks to Pete, Anthony Gettig, Rebecca Davis. Can't wait to be hanging out with you. Yay! Nathan Cundiff, put more light on yourself. Carol, good luck to you. Down under.
Bye,
Jen
John.
Glasgow, pleasure having you with you. John Kuhn, good luck to you.
Thank
Larry, you and I got to have lunch.
Well, when I get down there, maybe Larry and I can take you to dinner.
Outstanding. That's the one thing we're going to need when we get there is food. Eric, thanks for all your help and all your support. Howard, is your mic working yet? No, never
Mine over.
I have a tough time in the voiceover industry with that.
Yeah, really.
No, my
Don't quit your day job.
Using the entire card on his Mac. Trey Mosley, pleasure to see you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Shelly, can't wait to see you again.
Can't wait to see you guys.
We'll have another cigar.
Oh, yes.
Don't look that picture up. Steve Gonzalez, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Cam, we'll be talking. We got stuff to do. Uncle Roy.
See you in October, guys.
See you in October.
Yeah.
Anyway, for the last time,
everybody.
I'm Dan Leonard in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together, this has been East-West Audio Body Shop. Good night, everybody. We'll see you in 1 month.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Mwah. Mwah. Mwah.